Mr. Menendez, during these years when you were living in Pennington and these things were happening, did you think your mother knew what was going on?
No,
Calls for speculation overall.
no, I didn't.
Were there times when, following one of these episodes with your father, you'd be crying?
Yes.
Did your mother ever come upon you when you were crying?
Sometimes after these, I'd have to go downstairs to dinner, or afterwards, and she would come when she'd see me crying. And
Did
yes.
she ever ask you, Eric, what are you crying about?
No.
Would she ask you that sometimes if you were crying and it had nothing to do with sex with your father?
Sometimes, but often when I was crying, it was apparent why I was crying.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I would be crying at the swimming pool, or I'd be crying coming from school, and then she'd ask me what was wrong. But if it was from sports or just from coming out of my room, she would.
I don't understand what you mean from sports. Perhaps I didn't understand your
If it was from swimming, or if it was from tennis, almost never when I was playing soccer, I don't think I cried, but if it was from sports and she was there and I
She
came
knew?
in, yes.
Okay. What I'm saying is, were there times that you would be crying when she didn't know what caused it, and she would ask you?
Yes.
Did she ever ask you why you were crying when it followed one of these episodes with your father?
No.
And what would she say, if anything, to you when you were crying following these episodes with your father?
She would say, do what I told you to do.
What had she told you to do?
She taught me how to hide my tears and to not cry. And if I was crying, she taught me how to get rid of the tears, make it seem like I hadn't been crying.
And what was the method?
She had water that she would tell me to put in my eyes. Otherwise, she had this little special thing that she would keep in my bathroom to put in my eyes.
What was this little special thing?
I'm not sure what it was. It was in a little plastic container.
And she put it in your eyes?
She taught me how to.
So you'd put it in your eyes?
Yes.
These episodes with your father, what time of day did they usually occur?
At night.
Before or after dinner?
Either before or after. Usually before when he got home from work, but sometimes it would happen after.
If it were before dinner, would you still be expected to come down to dinner?
Yes, unless I was unable to.
And were there times when you were unable to eat dinner?
There was times when I was unable to come down to dinner.
Why was that?
Because I was crying too much, or I was too much of a mess, and I was shaking, and I couldn't come down to dinner. I used to get these pounding headaches, sort of like sears through my brain, and my dad would say, "You're not going down to dinner."
Were you usually, however, expected to go down to dinner after one of these episodes?
Yes.
And would that be why you would dry your tears or put water in your eyes?
Yes, a lot of times. Sometimes not. Sometimes I would go down to dinner with my eyes red.
And what
but
would happen? How did your father react to that?
He didn't like it, and sometimes he would cope with it, and he just wouldn't talk to me. I was usually ignored at dinner anyway, but this time he really wouldn't talk to me.